How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is cold in Calgary this morning, as it has been for the last few days, but hey, the sun is actually out, so that's nice. It should warm up later this afternoon. Before we get going today, though, what we're going to do is plug in our little oil pan warmer that we got a while back from Jeremy. It's attached to, well, Lucky's oil pan, and it comes with an extension cord that is hidden right here. Just gonna plug this bad boy in. Then we're gonna run this back inside Lucky, and we're gonna plug it into our EcoFlow and warm up our oil just a little bit before we leave. Everybody just calm down. It'll be fine. All right, back into the tiny home. Hey! Oh. Whew. All right, and let's get the other end plugged in to the back of the EcoFlow here. Go. Okay, so don't have the alternating current section on yet, so we're gonna go into the EcoFlow app here, just because the button's on the back of the EcoFlow. Well, it could be the front if I flipped it around, but here we go. We got the Delta 2 Max up here. Wait for all this stuff to load. There we go. Turn on the AC. Beep. Let's see how much it starts to pull for our little heater there. Now it's probably quite cold because it's been very cold all night. So we'll check back in on that in a few minutes and see if it's gotten any higher. But 75 watts, that's not too bad. We're gonna have to sit here for an hour or two to let it do its thing. Breakfast. Oh, hang on, I got stuff in the way here. I've got a diesel heater in the way and an extension cord. Let's put that behind the swivel seat. And yeah, I grabbed my spare diesel heater out of storage last night with the intention of installing it today, swapping them out. Because full transparency, truth be told, and all that jazz. Oh, whoop, hang on, I can see an air gap in the side door. Much better. I've been a little concerned ever since I took my diesel heater apart, the one that's installed in Lucky, when I was up on Tunnel Mountain in Banff, and used that RTV sealant to reseal the gasket inside there. Anyway, ever since I put it back in and I've been using it, I've been getting these weird odors from the diesel heater, right? And like more so than anything else, right? So my immediate thought went to, well, maybe that RTV sealant didn't set properly, and maybe there's an internal leak and it's pushing some, burned fumes through the whatever. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. And I've sort of been gauging it ever since, trying little things here and there, little tweaks and whatnot, running it on high, running it on low, seeing what I can do. And nothing really seemed to be working. There would be moments, it's one of those annoying problems where it's not like all the time. It's not like 100% consistent. It's just like every once in a while you get the smell and you're like, oh, I'm going to die. But then for the next like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, you're fine. It's gone. It's a very frustrating and weird, smallish problem. But I'd gotten to the point the other day where I was like, screw it. I'm just going to, I had ordered this right here, the spare gasket kit, right? I talked about this on a previous video. It came with a new glow plug and new gaskets. I was just gonna pull it back out, replace the gasket, and hopefully Bob's your uncle. That would solve my problem. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, wait a second, I do have that other diesel heater. Like maybe this one that's currently installed in my van that I have been, touting for the longest time, because it's the OG heater that I've had for 3 years. It's the very first one I ever installed. The only part on it that I've actually fully replaced is the fan, because back in the day, if you weren't around, it was squeaking enough that you wanted to, punch a baby. Thanks, Dane Cook. So I replaced that with, I Frankensteined it from another heater, blah, blah, blah. And I've loved the fact that I've been able to maintain that heater up to this point. Because by and large, I do pride myself in being able to fix things before just simply replacing them. Those are good skills to have, and it's a good thing to put into practice in this like disposable world that we currently live in. That all being said, I've kept it going for 3 years. And if it's going to slowly murder me in my sleep, well, I'm not very happy with it, right? So, well, yes, I could just replace that gasket. My immediate thought went to, oh yeah, I've got that spare one in storage. Why don't we just swap that in and give it a good shake? It's the same size. It's a 5 kilowatt. It comes with a red controller. I think it could just hot swap over. This should just plug into the wiring harness I have, and that was my intention. But before I actually picked it up last night, I decided to go into my advanced settings in my heater and tweak the numbers a little bit. So if you're not too familiar with diesel heaters, you're not going to know too much about this, and that's fine. But the main settings that you can go in there and change are your fuel pump rates on the low end and the high end, and then how fast your fan spins on the low end and the high end. And a lot of people call those like your altitude settings or whatever, and you can adjust those. And I've told the story here 1,000 times before where someone I ran into very early on in my van life said I could adjust those settings down and I wouldn't use as much diesel fuel, but then the burn chamber wouldn't burn as hot, so I'd have to do that whole run it on high for 15 minutes, blah, 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 blah. What I've sort of taken away from that is don't fuck with those settings, honestly. And I thought I had them sort of dialed into an appropriate spot, but I was smelling deathly fumes. I would assume they were deathly. You don't want to like fart around with that. Anyway, I changed them a little bit last night before I went and got this guy out of the storage. And when I came back, everything was fine. And I sort of tested high and low again, and I haven't smelt anything since. So we're definitely going to keep our eye on it, but I wanted to share the settings that I have with you guys in case there's somebody else out there that is curious as to what exactly my settings are, because from the last time I showed them off, when I ripped that out up in Banff, they've changed. So real quick, here are my diesel heater advanced settings. So here's my current controller for my diesel heater. It's the OG black one. I turned all the house lights off in the van so we don't get crazy reflection happening on this screen. If you don't know how to get into the advanced settings, it's super simple. You're going to tap your settings key, the little gear icon up here in the top left, until you get to the number entry section here. And then the code to get in is the same for all of these. It's 16888. And then here is the first two settings are going to be your fuel pump rate. So mine is now currently set at 1.4 hertz. You can adjust this up or down. I think before I had mine at 1.5 and then I bumped it up to 1.8 thinking I needed new fuel because somebody told me maybe I wasn't getting enough fuel. Anyway, 1.4 is the low end. You press OK. This is your high end. Don't ask me what this exactly means. It's just, I just use logic to figure out, well, when it's on a low setting, it's going to use the low end. When it's on a high setting, it's going to use the high end. Anyway, 5.5 hertz for that one. Press OK again. Now, these are your fan speeds. These are revolutions per minute, right? For how fast your fan spins. So this first setting, again, is the low end for your fan. I have mine set 1500. Press OK. It cycles through all the numbers. And the next one is going to be your high end. So I have mine set at 4500 revolutions per minute. And that is my advanced settings for this heater. You can press OK again to get through all this, and there's a whole bunch more stuff. You can switch it between 12 volt and 20 volt, 4 volt. We're not going to worry about any of this. Keep pressing OK till you come back to your main setting here. Press OK, I can put it back on what the temperature is currently inside the van. So those are my settings. And like I said, since I changed those last night, I haven't noticed any murderous smells. From my understanding, those settings are what will need to be adjusted depending on where you are in terms of sea level. If you go higher, you might need to change them. If you go lower, you might need to change them. You know what I mean? Like, it all depends on your altitude. That's why they are called altitude settings in some circles. Don't ask me. I said I'm not a scientist. I'm not a diesel heater expert. I just try to live every day without dying. So, large goal of mine to resolve this situation. Now, why wouldn't I just swap the heater out anyway? It's a pain in the butt. Granted, not as big of a pain in the butt as it used to be in my old build, but still. We're going to keep our eye on this, or I guess our nose on this for the rest of the day. We'll power it down when we do move the rig, and then we'll fire it back up when we get settled. We got some running around to do and some last minute Christmas shopping to finish up today. We'll give it a good old smell test and see what she does. On this same note, how I've been talking so frequently about how cold it gets at the back of the van on these really frigid nights, what I have noticed, and again, this doesn't make sense to my muggle brain, but probably from a scientific standpoint it does, this middle fan, I open it up and I have it pulling air in on its lowest setting, And when that is happening, even though it's cold outside, because of where my heater is, I imagine, and heat rises and all that nonsense, this helps disperse heat to the back. And when I wake up in the morning, I don't need to be wearing clothes. That's just the way it is. So if you're feeling frigid at the back of your van, hopefully you have some way of pushing air back there. A lot of people are recommending getting fans that face that way, which absolutely makes logical sense. But I didn't have any on hand, so I just did this, and it works. I got in the van last night. It was very cold around there. The pillows were icy to the touch. Well, not literally, but they were very cold. And then you turn this bad boy on, and the heat makes its way back there. Science. Well, hello, Miss Penny. Good morning, good morning. You're looking very pretty in the sunbeam. Do you want some treats? Stay there. Oh, I'm coming. Back it up. Back it up. There you go. Yum. Morning treats. You're a spoiled little kitty. Here you go. Whoa. Oh, I dropped it. My bad. How anticlimactic of me. One more. All right, darling. Ready? Ready? There we are. Good girl. Oh, all right. You're so cute. You can have one more. Oh my goodness, twist my rubber arm. Good girl. All right, now that I'm looking at my phone, I'm reminded that that's pretty much the wattage it stays at. So 69 watts. Exciting. It's still doing its thing, heating our oil pan. We won't really be able to tell if it makes much of a difference, but Lucky does have this little like habit of going when I start her when it's really cold out. So if that doesn't happen, all good things. While we wait for that though, before we continue on with this epic adventure that is today, I did pick up a couple more things from my mailbox the other day from this lovely community that can't stop giving. I greatly appreciate it. This card was dropped off, and it's either from Terry or Teddy. It's hard to tell for sure, but let's see what Terry or Teddy sent me in this Christmas card. It's Christmas with a family of penguins. Oh, it's Terry Beth, not Teddy. Merry Christmas, Matt, from Terry. Oh, and she sent me a 2-day pass to Calgary Recreation Facility. Always good to go and scrub your pits. Thank you very much, my dear. I appreciate that. That is very kind of you. Thank you so very much. Merry Christmas, Terry. All right, there's one more that's a little bit on the larger side. Okay. And with the whole van life space thing, it's probably a good idea get this sucker open sooner rather than later. That wasn't a Leatherman. And in here. Oh, is there a from tag before anything else? Hang on. From tags? From tags? I don't see a from tag. I see a smaller box in the rather large box. All right then. So let's open this bad boy up. What do we have in here? Ugh! What the heck is this? There's a thank you coupon code in here from the mobile base. It's covered in bubble wrap. Let us see. Oh, what the heck? It says Chrome on it. What? Isn't that? Lenovo. Is this a computer? Somebody, oh, is this one of those ones that turns into a, oh, look at that. Oh, it's turning itself on. Chrome operating system. Did somebody send me a computer? Oh, it's got a little logo on it. Lenovo 11.6 inch Chrome renewed. Oh, it's like a refurbished one. Welcome to your Chromebook. That's... Who sent me a computer? There was literally no from tag. This was to me, right? Oh my goodness. Could you imagine? No, it's to me. Okay. Oh God, I was so concerned it was somebody else's package that maybe the UPS store gave me by mistake. Yikes. Well, that is a Chromebook. Thank you. I think it's a Chromebook. Is that what it's called? It's called a Lenovo computer, and it's got a flippy screen. I don't know who sent it. Thank you very much. I will put it to good use. Did not see that coming. Okay, so it's been a little bit of time now, so before we get started, we're going to turn the diesel heater off, let it power down, and we will power it back up when we get started, like I mentioned, and see if I can smell anything. If all goes well, we will just keep this bad boy on hand Well, actually, I guess if all goes well, we'll return it to storage in the next couple days, because there's no point in having this bopping around the tiny home on wheels if we don't need it. But for now, in case this day decides to go tits up, as they say, we got it on hand. All right, so while that's powering down, let's get Lucky started and see if we hear a or not. Oh, you know we're getting ready to go? Which way are you going? Which way are you going? Let's see it. Let's see it. Big plays, big plays. Go, go, go. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah, good girl. All right, make yourself comfortable. Turn off our air for a second. I made it the tiniest little bit, so maybe we could have left that going a little bit longer, but we got to get going. Okay, get this bad boy unplugged. Hiya. Tuck it back up where it was. Excellent. And get all of this nonsense back in there. Hashtag vanlife. Right, Putty Tats? All right. And we are hunkered down. I just finished, gosh darn that gap down there. These doors aren't long for this world. Just finished dropping the Irish Pirate Queen, so she is more or less ready to go. We're gonna turn on the diesel heater and see what she does, see what we can smell. Let's move our final few gifts from Twisted Goods out of the way of the vent. And so we'll give that a minute to kick up. And I gotta run into the mall and get a couple more gift bags and whatnot. Then we're gonna hop in the Irish Pirate Queen and go do our running around. That is the plan, but let's see how the diesel heater behaves first. Well, that's not ideal. All right, well, that's just the way it's been behaving lately. We'll see if it completely fails or if it starts up on its second attempt. Yeesh. Maybe we are swapping this heater today. Woof. I mean, it wouldn't be the most difficult thing. Yes, it's annoying, but I do have RTV sealant here just to seal around the heater once it gets in there. Whoops, got no room on my little pegboard to grab anything right now. RTV sealant here, heater there. It'd just be a matter of undoing the 3 connections on the bottom, the fuel line, the air intake, and the exhaust, the couple screws that are in the floor inside the cupboard. The hardest part, honestly, I think, would be emptying out everything in the cupboard again. Right, Penny? Yeah. But maybe it's time we do this. This thing is just stinky right now, but we'll see what happens once it actually catches. it just gave the fuel pump a break, and now it just started again, and I heard it catch. So we're good in that regard. You know what? Let's go outside. Clear your nostrils. And we'll see how it smells once it's been running for a couple seconds. Should be good now. There should be no more white smoke. Well, nothing like it was, but it's still there. Stupid diesel heaters with the white smoke. Actually, what we can do is we'll fire up Grace so that she's got a little bit of time to warm up. So she's a little bit of an icebox right now. Hello, Grace. Good morning. And maybe I'll go into the mall when we get back. We'll get the other running around done first. There we go. Get her from neutral into 4, into 2. Now she's ready to go. Just warm up there for me a little bit, would you, Grace? I appreciate it. Come over here. Yeah, all the white smoke's gone. You can probably kind of hear it a little bit. It's chugging away good. Let's see how she smells. Okay. Clear the passageway. I don't love it. Damn it! Maybe it's just residual from what was before. When I do this and stick my head in front of the vent, it just smells and feels like hot air and not like fumes trying to kill me. Maybe this is a tomorrow Matthew problem, because I feel like it's fine. I feel like the only thing that I smelled when I first got in here was the lingering effects. We turn this fan on, move the hot air around, we should be just fine. Yeah, let's go get our running around done, come back, and then make a call then. Because right now it's starting to smell fine in here. I don't like make work projects. Oh, actually, one more thing I wanted to talk about. This happened the other day. I've had these boots for just over a year. They're great. These slip-ons, perfect for van life. They're a pretty high-end brand. They weren't cheap, but the other day I tripped at Brooklyn School. I didn't fall over. Everybody just calm down. But you know that thing where you drag your toe and it kind of trips you up, and you're like, son of a bee, did anybody see? And the stupid thing just starts talking to me. The boot's talking to me. So that's unfortunate, but it's still sealed on the inside there. I'm not going to pay to take this to somebody to have them professionally fix it. We got so many things on hand in this van of mine. We're just gonna attempt to fix this on our own. Glove 1, glove 2, and we're gonna try using some automotive goop right in there to hopefully seal the sole of my shoe to the nose of my shoe. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it's a good day to attempt this because it's very cold outside. I got my black clodhoppers in front of the diesel heater vent right now. Now realizing that the vent is pointed to the ceiling, that's not gonna be very helpful. Warm them up because they've been living in the wheel well of the van for the last couple days. We'll be able to wear those while we let our slip-on boots cure up with their automotive goop. So we're just gonna go in here, we're gonna take our goop, we're gonna squeeze it in here. Had this tube sticking or hanging around for a while. Right, just getting some goop in there. 2 little beads of the goop. And I don't know. This should work, right? If it works on automotive parts, it should work on a boot. Cheaper than buying a new pair. Unless, of course, it don't work. Use your finger, spread the goop around, and we're gonna push and hold. Just don't deform the part where my toe goes. And we're just gonna let that, I don't know, do its thing. Hopefully it works. Now that's a make work project. Make sure you spin the vent back. And yeah, it's still smelling okay in here, so maybe we won't have to fuss around with heater. That would be great. Okay, and how's it going over here, Grace? You nice and warm now? Yeah, more or less. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, off specifically to get a gift for my aunt and uncle, Tally freaking ho. Well, the place I'm looking for is no longer here, even though the map says it's supposed to be. I am right where that blue dot is. And there is no Nutman here. Okay, well, checking over on Google Maps, it says that there's another location, but on here, it says that it's permanently closed. What happened to the Nutman? You know, the only reason this is very confused, okay, so here's this, I don't know when it happened. I don't remember exactly the year, but it's become a tradition where I give my aunt and uncle a nut tray from the Nutman. I can't do that if there's no Nutman. And it's confusing because there's a candy store in the mall that has this tiny little section of Nutman products on it. There are no nut trays, and there ain't no mustard pretzels, which were divine. This location that is currently saying permanently closed is sort of on the way back towards the mall. If it ain't there, we're gonna have to find another solution. All right, that is our destination. Are you still open? Let's find out. Oh, hark! I see a squirrel, and I see an open sign below him. We may be in, can I just sneak right here? Yep, let's do it. That is the Nutman squirrel. I don't know exactly what this is, but it's not the right address. Well, maybe it is the right address. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not paying for parking. Yeah. Sad day. Grace has a bit of a blemish on her now. That happened the other day. I had a rock chip on a windshield and I fired Grace up and it just kind of went. So that's great. Gonna make an appointment for her before the next BC trip. All right, well, this isn't the Nutman proper. This is a place called BB Baskets. But they got the squirrel on the wall outside. Hi there, how you doing today? Not too bad. Well, I got brought here because I typed the Nutman into Google Maps and it was saying permanently closed, but obviously you have Nutman products.
Well, we have some of those.
No trays, but they do have the mustard pretzels, so those are coming with me for sure. Well, that's too bad. I mean, it's great that they have the products in there. She had no idea where to get their Nutman stuff from. So it means the Nutman still exists in some capacity, but they don't have their own Sticks and Bricks location. They had a whole bunch of their products, like these delicious, they call them reindeer corns, I think. And then, of course, I was able to get myself some of the mustard pretzels. So I will be drowning my sorrows with that, but now I'm going to have to find a different sort of tray. Where are people supposed to get their quality nuts from? As everybody on the show once said, these pretzels are making me thirsty. All I have is this bottle of Dasani that's basically all ice because it was left in Grace last night. Desperate times. Call for bottles of ice. Oh. Okay, I had to stop over at Willow Park Wine and Spirits because Leopard Girl, who's famously known around these parts, sent me her annual gift basket, which, thank you very much, darling. Holy Dinah, wanted to talk about it over there, but that parking lot is so small, and everyone and their dog is picking up booze right now. She sent me a lovely little card, as she do. I believe that's the Honey Jack Daniels, Captain Morgan's, which is a favorite around here, and whatever this is, Glen Morangi. I can't remember how the girl at the liquor store said it, because we had to check and make sure it was all here, but it is a Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, otherwise known as Tasty AF. That will definitely come in handy at some point. For now, you can stay back here, stay chilled in the Irish Pirate Queen, because I'm going to have to go into the mall and figure out what I'm going to get as an alternative to a Nutman tray. Hickory Farms, here we come. Actually, before that, I wanted to see how it smelt in Lucky. It seems to be okay. Nothing hit my face immediately in a very assaulting manner when I first opened the door, so that is a good thing. I also noticed that the goop we put on the shoe had kind of separated, so now the shoe is pinched underneath the EcoFlow. It's the heaviest thing that I have in this van right now, and hopefully that helps my boot get its poop in a group. Okay, now we can finish all this stuff off, hopefully, with one final trip into the shopping mall, which I still find awesome that we have these here, because I've heard a lot from my friendly Americans south of me that shopping malls aren't really a thing anymore. Can you confirm that? That's crazy to me, as being someone who grew up with this exact mall my entire life. Actually, let's make it more specific. Comment below where you are, like which state you're in, and whether or not you still have shopping malls, because I know things tend to vary dramatically from state to state. And on that note, if you're anywhere else in the world, let me know. Like if you overseas in Denmark or Constantinople. Yeah. And there we go. Whew. I believe I am all done my Christmas shopping. Feels real good. Went with one of those Hickory Farm gift bags, basket thingies. It's not a nut tray, but it'll have to do. A moment of silence for the nut man, sticks and bricks. All right, well, I gotta go get the Pirate Princess, get on with the rest of my evening, and we will catch up when we get in the whole rig, move back down to Hotel Walmart. Hey, that's pretty rock solid. Sure, the toe of my boot's a little shiny now, but it's staying together, more or less. We'll see how long it holds up. I'm just happy to be able to put these boots back on. The clodhoppers are a little bit of a pain in the ass when you're running around with indoor playgrounds and the like. So just back in, lucky, obviously. Got the Irish Pirate Queen hitched back up to her booty. And there was one more package at the UPS store, and I believe it is a Christmas present for Miss Penelope. Ooh, chirping balls. Thanks, Marilyn. Yes, these come from Marilyn. Actually, it says a gift for you on the Amazon slip. So I guess these chirping balls are actually for me. Just kidding, Penny. Here. You wanna give that a try? What does that smell like? You wanna play with the chirping ball? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oops, all right. Ready? One more time. Huh. Oh. How you doing back here? You like your chirping bird? Can you make it chirp? No. Come on, shake it. Get it. Just gonna give it a little bit of a bath. Oh, there you go. That's the good stuff, eh? Oh yeah, happy hunting, Penny. Happy hunting. Get this. Good girl. All right, you kill your chirping bird. I need this bad boy. Oh, man. Oh, what a day, what a day. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to... Whoa, thanks for rocking the boat there, Penny. I think I'm probably going to swap that heater either tomorrow or the day after. Not as bad in here as it was when it was like at the height of its problem, but I still could feel it. If I could feel it. Yes, I felt it. I could still smell it quite well. Oh, I shouldn't say quite well, but well enough. Ooh, this isn't working nearly as well as I thought. Maybe we put it on this side and we'll just do this. Hey. Hiya. Huh. There we go. Oh no. Why'd I make her name so long? Oh, Penny's back at the bird. We got Brooklyn on the Rocky Mountain flannel stocking. You cannot see it because it turns out black marker doesn't show up so well on red and black plaid. But that's done. Wanted to get that marked because we're going to be having Christmas over at my cousin's oh so very soon. And yeah, we will do that diesel heater probably in the next video. Swippy swap and just clean out the old one and get the new one in there and see how it performs. I was reminded, the more I thought about it, that I did have another heater in my van at one point. And before I swapped the fan on the original unit, I just put a new unit in. I ended up stealing the fan from that unit because it turned out that that unit, whatever its settings were, fricasseed a bunch of my baseball hats, and it just overall ran far hotter than the OG heater. So that could very well happen with the backup that we have on hand, but we'll get that sorted out in the next episode of Van Life Plus. Thank you very much for watching, and until then, just go out there, be happy, be creative, be yourselves. Most importantly, be positive, but remember, you can't make everybody happy because you're not tacos.